Welcome back to this Thing of Ours podcast
where we talk about all of life's highs and lows.
and everything in between. So, Curtis, how have you been?
I've been good. This week was eventful.
Definitely.
A few things happened.
Like what? Share with us.
I got my car hit. Someone knocked off my mirror.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an expense that I wasn't expecting. On top of everything already being very expensive.
Yes.
But yes, that's an expense I have to incur because the person did not stay or tell me it happened, even though it happened in a parking lot.
Are you supposed to call the police or something? I don't even know how do you go about that?
After a certain amount, you're supposed to report a certain amount of damage. But
So could that person be filed as what is that, like a hit and run for accidents?
It could be
or
a hit and run if they're caught, yes. But the odds are they won't be because the parking lot I was in had no cameras. So I'm never going to know who it was. It's just, it is what it is. But yeah, that happened this week. So how was your week?
Well, I'm also having car trouble. It's just a week of car trouble. I need a new replacement for something that's underneath my car. What is it called again? The manifold and something?
Catalytic converter.
Yes. That is what I need.
And if you know, they are not cheap.
Yeah, I think Nissan quoted me $2,300 or something.
27.
2,700, and that's just for the part alone.
That's
okay,
for the one part, just for the catalytic converter, just for the cat.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy expensive.
It is, and they've gone up over the past few years. They've always been kind of expensive because of the metal that's in them, but
okay,
yeah.
But other than that, I decided I'm gonna get a bike. So remember a couple of weeks ago when we mentioned what do you guys do for fun, And I said, come back in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna tell you guys a new hobby that I have, and I'm going to get a bike, and I'm going to bike to work, because I am not going to pay that ridiculous amount of money right now. It's still summertime. So I can, save up for that, and by the time winter comes, I'll have my car fixed. So for me, it's not a problem right now. So I decided I'm gonna get a bike, and that is what I'm gonna do. I wanted to exercise and start losing some weight, huh?
Life is so you said you were gonna exercise. You didn't start yet, so
here's some car trouble.
Yeah, this is what we're gonna do for you.
Yeah, and then I thought about maybe I could take the bus, but then taking the bus, apparently, because I asked somebody at the bus stop, how much is a bus pass for the month, and they told me it's $130 or $40. That's ridiculous.
Just to take the bus, yeah,
for 1 month. I remember when it was $65 at the time. That's the price I remember. That's crazy.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, at one point we were paying a student fee.
Yeah.
Years ago. And
no. Laurentian. That's the university we went to. Laurentian was paying that for us. Laurentian paid for everyone's monthly bus pass.
I don't really remember, but
yeah, because I've never had to take the bus in college, but in university I decided to take the bus, and the only reason why I decided to do that instead of driving was because the school, the university, they offered to pay for their students' bus passes. So I was I'm not going to waste gas money.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to use the bus pass. So I decided to do that. But then, even then, when I used to live in Montreal, going to high school there, my bus pass, I think it was $55 or $65, but that was for students.
Yeah. But yeah, even that, it's more than doubled since then. Even if that was a student fee is only $10, $20 less than your normal fee. So even at that, it's still basically doubled since, that's 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Wait, my high school?
No, it was since university.
Oh, okay.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah, because I graduated university in 2019. So yeah, I would say about 3 years.
Yeah. It's been 3 years, and it's basically doubled in price, which is insane.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm excited to get my bike and start biking. And I'm gonna let you guys know how that goes my first day, because I'm going to pick my bike up this weekend. So by the time you're watching this, I'm gonna have my bike already, and I'm gonna be riding, with
Yeah.
the wind blowing in my hair underneath the helmet.
If there's if there's anything available, because everyone says, "Oh, we don't have anything. Supplies are short, and that's why prices are up."
Hmm.
You know, it's like that everywhere.
Yeah, but I already know that the bike that I do want to get is already in stock. So hopefully, by the time I make it to the store after this podcast, I can have my bike, and I'm gonna start practicing riding it because I can't remember the last time I was on a bike. I feel like it's been a while for me.
You're gonna find her on the side of the road past those on her way to work, calling her. You coming into work today?
Yeah, just let me catch my breath. Today's the day I decide to bike. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, life has definitely thrown us some challenges this week. But thankfully we are alive, we're healthy, and
Mhm.
yeah. So other than that, I don't really have any complaints.
Yeah.
Yeah, how have you guys been doing? What have you guys been up to? Did you guys come up with any hobbies or anything like that? Let us know what you guys have started doing for the summertime.
Hmm.
All right. So, on my way to work though, before all this happened, on Monday, I was listening to the radio, and because it's funny that we're talking about this and how everything's going up. They were talking about how like certain name brand prices, like the luxury name brands, have increased um
Their
their
prices.
prices, yeah,
Yeah.
by like $10,000. And then when I heard that, I was like, "What? That's insane!" And they're saying how like I think it was somewhere in Toronto that there was like lineups waiting to get this one bag or like waiting to go into the store, but the store increased their prices by $10,000. Apparently,
So
apparently,
people are still lined up even after those inflated prices.
yeah, yeah. So
It's
like
crazy.
they're not actually. It seems like the luxury brands are not being affected by inflation. I feel like they're almost benefiting from it because people are still willing to spend that money
Hmm.
to get the luxury items, and that's what they mentioned actually on the radio. Maybe I heard wrong, but that's what I heard that they mentioned
Yeah.
on the radio, and I was like really surprised because you think with high gas prices, which is just insane, and daycare, which is just
Yeah.
shocking.
Everything's gone up. It's crazy how much prices have gone up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny you said you heard that on the radio, because I was reading an article not too long ago how they were saying kind of the difference between this time around where prices are going up or when people are kind of struggling, because
Mm-hmm.
COVID obviously made quite a few people struggle. A lot of people were off work,
A lot of
reduced
people lost their
hours.
jobs, lost their homes,
Yeah.
had to file bankruptcy. It was a really sad time,
Mhm.
honestly. Still
But
is, but
the difference between this time and
mm-hmm.
last time in 2008 when we had the housing bubble,
Okay.
right? Businesses and consumers kind of suffered back then,
Mm.
whereas now it's mainly just the end consumer because they have pricing power. So, like you said, they're still raising their prices,
Yeah.
and people are still buying, and that is helping to cause the inflation we're seeing at such a dramatic rate, because we just keep spending, we just keep buying regardless of the prices.
Well, I mean, how do we control gas prices? Because everyone has to somehow get to work. Either it's the transit that needs your city bus needs gas to get
Hmm.
you from point A to point B, right? So that's coming out of your pocket to buy the bus pass, or basically kind of paying for the wage and paying for the gas, kind of type of thing. Or taxes are doing that, at least. That's still coming out of your paycheck.
Hmm.
But then also those with cars, you need to get from point A to point B. So it's like gasoline prices are high. How do you even fight that? Like right now, it's like what is it? 215
Yeah, it was 215 this morning when we looked at
Canadian
it.
dollars.
Yeah, Canadian dollars per liter. So I don't know what that would convert to in gallons,
Mm-hmm.
but I do know that our gas prices, if you do convert it, we are paying quite a bit more than in the States. That's not to say in the US they aren't paying a lot.
Let us know what your gas prices are like right now. Are they insane? Are they normal? Are you guys paying less than what you guys used to pay? Like, let us know because gas here is $2.
you could control it. As consumers, we do have a lot of power. We do.
Hmm.
And like myself, there is someone I work with that lives nearby. We could carpool, but we don't. And I'm sure you work with someone you live nearby with.
Yeah, they offered to drop me home the other day, so that
Yeah,
was nice.
but only because you don't have a car.
Yeah.
That conversation would have never even came up.
Yeah, you know, you're
And you
right.
guys would have just been using your own car consistently.
Hmm.
So like there are ways to kind of combat it, and reduce the amount we spend on certain items, but
Hmm.
we just don't. I think we've gotten so used to convenience. Everything is built to help us and make things easier in our lives.
But we're
And
paying for it.
we've gotten so used to it. But yes, you're right. We pay extra for it,
Yeah.
right? The pre-made meals you get at stores,
Mm.
they cost more than if you just buy the supplies and make it yourself. But we buy the pre-made. Yeah, we are so used to everything being easy and made easy for us.
Mhm. Well,
Right.
also, like, think about this way, after working long hours, it's like, do you really want to come home and make chicken? You got to wash the chicken first, and then you got to season the chicken, like,
Mhm.
and then you got to wait, like, what, 30 minutes? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
is that really doable? Like, after that, I'm tired. Like, I want to go to sleep.
Oh, I know. No, you are right. Like it after work, you just want to come home and throw something in the oven
Yeah.
quickly and just sit around till it's done cooking, and then you eat.
Yeah.
You
Or you
know.
can buy something super quick, like, buy pizza,
Yeah.
something that's like, I'm so hungry. I want to go home. I just want to shower. I want to eat.
You pick it up on your way home, and
Yeah.
then you eat as soon as you get home, and call it a night, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Weren't you talking about someone at work talking about like daycare costs? Like, oh,
Oh,
you were
yeah.
you were mentioning how you wanted kids, and we mentioned it in the
Mm.
last video as
Yes, we
well,
did.
right?
Yeah. We wanted 4 kids,
Yeah.
and we talked about how we weren't ready yet to have kids. So if you guys haven't seen that episode, here's a sneak peek of what you missed.
Based on society standards, I should technically probably already have kids. Based on, like when society says you're supposed to
Yeah.
find love, get married, and have children and start a family.
Hmm.
So I'm technically past that point. I am. Yes, there's people that have kids later in life, and there's no problem with that. But based on society, yeah, I am past it. But yeah, so as we mentioned in that video, Amelia wants 4 kids.
We need Amelia.
I'm on board with it. That
Okay.
wasn't my original plan, but I'm
What's
on
your
board.
original plan, Curtis?
My original plan was 1 boy, 1 girl, call it a day.
Oh.
But
Anyways, okay, go on.
it is what it is. I'm okay with whatever, to be honest. But yeah, anyway, yeah, they were mentioning at work, you were saying how daycare costs are ridiculous, and they were asking you, are you sure you want 4 kids?
Yeah, no, that's what happened. So they were talking about their kids and all the extracurricular activities that they have, and then they just randomly turned to me and they're like, "So you want 4 kids? Do you know how expensive daycare is and how much it is to put them in basketball or swimming classes?" And I was like, "No, but isn't there something called like $1 a day daycare?" That's what I thought. And they literally started laughing at me. They're like, "There's no such thing as dollar day daycare." And I was like, "There isn't?" I could have sworn that I heard something. But they were telling me how like daycare can cost in the thousands for like one child.
Mm-hmm.
For one child. That's crazy. And they're like, "And you want 4?"
Yeah. No, yeah,
That's crazy. Like, is daycare really that expensive? Can you actually just Google? Because I'm curious to know how much is the average daycare cost?
Yeah, look it up.
Because I really thought there was something called dollar a day. Maybe it was like, maybe I heard wrong, but that's a lot of money.
So basically, it says here that Ontario, or sorry, Canada, I believe, all of Canada has a plan. So you weren't wrong when you said $1 a day,
Mm-hmm.
right? They do have a plan to reduce it to $10 per day,
Okay.
by funding it. I don't know if that's started yet. This article doesn't say that, but they are planning to do that because the average cost in Ontario for a toddler is $70 a day.
And that's for one child.
That's for one child.
Shit.
So in Toronto, that's where they said it's about $1,600 a month per child.
Wow.
So like that's insane. That doesn't even make sense.
You mentioned to me that the government does help them with daycare, like not them specifically, but it helps. Like they do help people that's in a certain bracket.
Okay, lower,
With yeah,
lower income.
yeah. So I think if you make a lower income, then the government's more likely to help you. And I'm not talking about baby bonuses and things like that. I'm talking about like they'll actually help you with daycare for you guys both to go to work because life is expensive. Oh. That's what we should name this podcast.
Life is expensive.
Life is expensive. It really is.
It is, yeah. No, and it's gotten crazy over the past 2 years, like after COVID. And I mean, yeah, they say supply shortages. They say because everything shut down and they laid people off, right? So they weren't manufacturing things. They weren't, everything changed because of COVID and the shutdowns.
Yeah, it's even hard to like get a camera now and get the things that we want to buy for this podcast. We went to a sale and they didn't really have a sale because they were all out of products. Yeah, everything was back ordered.
Everything that's a decent price is gone.
Yeah.
Like you can't even get it. You have to order it in. And when did they say? September?
Yeah, they said September.
And we're currently in June.
So the start of June.
Like we can't even get the camera that we wanted because it's back ordered.
Yeah.
For months. It's absolutely insane. But yeah.
I don't know. I'm confused with how the direction that this world is going because when I was listening to the news, and I don't listen to the news very often, but when I did, actually, was it the news or the radio? It's probably the radio. They were saying how, I think it was CBC Radio News. Sometimes they interview people. And anyways, they were saying how, like, the minimum wage right now, I think in Ontario is what, 16 or 15? I think it's 15.
I don't know.
Or is it
I think it's between 15 and 16.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, there's a city in Ontario where they were saying that you need to make at least $16.75, I believe, just for a minimum wage in order to survive in that city. And I'm not talking about Toronto. I'm talking about like, I think it was Timmins, I think it is.
Might be.
It was a smaller city, but they said that they need at least $16.75 per hour in order to actually live comfortably. So probably not living in a bad neighborhood, probably having access to, better supplies of food and vegetables and things like that. So that's what they were saying. They need at least $16.75 because they still can't survive.
Yeah, it's still 15. Below basic living expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like your total income at that rate is below standard living expenses.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I don't know, I feel like...
Because even going to the grocery store, I buy the fruits and vegetables before I start buying the meat. And I'm already at $100. I'm not even joking.
It's crazy. You used to be able to fill your cart and spend like $200. Now your cart's like half full and you're spending $200.
Yeah, I know.
It's insane.
I know. When I was at Walmart the other day, I bought a bag of chips. I bought, some lady products like pads, tampons, whatever. And I bought something else. I know I only had 4 items. And those 4 items came up to $60. I was like, wait, what? Hold on. What did I pick up? I'm like, okay. Put back the bag of chips that's cost like 2 for $8. Yeah. And still, my price was still around $50. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know.
That doesn't make sense.
I used to be able to gauge fairly well when we went to the grocery store before.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, this should cost around 80, maybe 100 at the most. Now I'm like way off.
Yeah.
If I don't actually look at the ticket price before we throw it in the cart, I try to guess by looking when we get to the cash, and I'm like way in left field there.
I know.
Oops. I know I was looking up earlier the average food costs or the increase in food costs or inflation on the food costs, something like that. If you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, I'll pull it up on the screen here. We'll put an overlay of the average food costs over the years.
Well, I'm telling you right now, it definitely did not go down.
So normally, a normal inflation is around 2% on food.
Okay.
And this is in Canada. So in 2022, we are at around 9%
Mm-hmm.
inflation on our food, which is absolutely insane. There is definitely something wrong
Yeah.
because that is not normal. The last time we saw this was back in 2008 with the housing bubble.
Oh,
So
really?
after we had that market crash and things went sideways, that's when we seen this.
Mm-hmm.
So is another recession coming? I don't know.
This is not a financial
It's not,
podcast.
but you have to leave it to question, like,
Yeah.
is that where we're headed?
Another recession?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not an economist, but the numbers don't lie. Like, this, the last time we seen it was in 2008.
Hmm.
So, I mean,
But we already see a lot of houses going up for sale,
mhm.
and um, and a lot of houses that, because I think the government said that they're gonna start taxing people if they have homes that are not occupied.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that true?
After 6 months, you are gonna get taxed if they know that it's empty anyway.
Mm.
Um, yeah, there's empty house tax or something. I forget the exact name for it, but that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. But where was I going with this? I don't remember. There's lots of houses that are going up for sale and also for rent, and we notice, that there's certain places around us that are still asking, like empty apartments. Will give you a move-in bonus.
Mm-hmm.
We notice that there's a lot of that happening right
Yeah,
now.
there is.
People
And
are having to lower their rent just for people to start renting.
the rent prices are, again, just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, along with everything else, rent has gone up significantly in the past few years.
Do you have, can you find that? Like,
I could probably find that too, yeah.
I'm curious because when I first moved out of my parents' house, I was paying $850. Now, I know obviously things are going to go up over the years. I 100% understand that. But it's getting to the point where, I see people struggling. You see them, committing suicide. You see them doing drugs because they can't take the pressure. They have debt. You see them
Yeah, the homelessness
doing
has
claiming bankruptcy.
multiplied. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, very sad that this is where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, like, how people are actually living because
Yeah.
of the way the economy has gone
Mm-hmm.
and the prices of everything. People just can't afford it. But yeah, back to the rent, because, like we were saying, a lot of people are homeless. They can't afford rent.
I remember when I first moved out of my parents' house, I was only paying $850 for a 1 bedroom, and then a couple of years after, I was paying, I think it was for a 2 bedroom apartment, they were asking $1,095.
Yeah,
For 2 bedrooms, 2 baths,
yeah,
and now it's like
yeah,
1,600 just for 1 bedroom,
yeah,
basically
yeah. No, like,
renovated.
looking at this chart here, and this is the average
Mm-hmm.
home or rental. And this chart goes back 30 years,
Okay.
down to 1990. The average 2 bedroom was $600, roughly $600, $700.
Mm-hmm.
Now the average 2 bedroom is nearing $1,700.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what are you actually getting for that price? Like, is it run down, or because I mean, some of the ones we looked at over the past year or two before we moved out here, like, some of them for that price, they weren't that great, to be honest.
Yeah, they
Like,
weren't in the best neighborhood either.
yep.
They just renovated the apartment. It was like, yep, we're gonna charge you $2,000 if you want to live here. And we're like, yeah, so that's a no.
Yeah, yeah. If you actually wanted something decent,
In a decent neighborhood.
you were paying ridiculous prices, like into the 2,000 mark
Mm-hmm.
per month, which is just insane. Like, I don't know how people are actually justifying raising prices this high on certain items.
Yeah,
and
because I think obviously nothing can stay the same, But if people aren't making more money, how are they going to live?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's like I can't blame the landlords wanting to increase rent because their mortgage is
Yeah.
going up and their land tax, or what is it called, property tax?
Property tax, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to go up too. So it's like, how do you justify not raising rent if their
If
property
they're
tax
paying
is
more.
paying more too? Like,
Yeah. I know. And it just comes full circle and it ends up landing on the end consumer.
yeah.
That's the problem that we're seeing. It's just no one wants to take the hit. So they just keep raising the prices, but it ends up landing on the end consumer that has to either just fork it out or live basically below their means. Like they literally need to scale down everything that they do and that they're used to just to survive, right? And it's not right, but that's what it is right now.
Yeah.
Mm.
I know it's sad. It
It
really
is
is.
very sad. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
definitely when I heard about the tent city and the opiate crisis that's going up in Sudbury, that kind of really made me feel sad for people because like, how do you help them? You know? So
I don't know. Something has to change. Um, and I mean, over time, like there's a steady or a healthy inflation amount, which is around 2%. And if we're seeing around 2% inflation, people can live off that. Like they can continue to survive at that rate. But when we're looking at like those charts we're at for food, 9-10%, like how do you can't justify living at that rate. Like you just can't buy the food you used to buy.
I know when I went to the grocery store, $5.99 for blueberries,
Hmm.
but the blueberry size was like this big for the containers. Like it was probably this high in height,
Yeah.
and it was probably this wide
Yeah. Some
for
people,
$5.99.
yeah, some products they're keeping around the same price, but they're reducing the portion size. Whereas some they're keeping the same portion size, but just raising the price up ridiculous. Like a brick of cheese. The other day I was there,
$10.
and no, for real, it was
It
$10.
used
Like
to be like $4.99 on a sale price. Now it's like $6.99 on a sale
yeah,
price.
that's what it was. It was $6.99, and they were claiming that was a sale.
Well, things are not the same like how it used to. Life is expensive, and it's just I think life is just gonna keep getting expensive the more we keep going this direction.
Yeah.
And real talk, I'm ready to like pull up to these bushes around here and start blueberry hunting myself.
You picking your own blueberries?
Pick my own blueberries. That's what I'm thinking about doing.
Yeah.
Going to a farm market and be like, all right, I'm gonna start picking some strawberries because it's probably gonna be cheaper than going to the grocery store and buying the organic strawberries or even the non-organic strawberries.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy where we are. Gas prices at 215. Food prices inflated like 10% from where they normally were. Rent at $2,000 for a decent 2-bedroom. Daycare costs at nearing $100 a child. Like
That's insane though. That's really is insane. Like I need to know how people are doing that. That's
I
a
know.
lot.
I know. Like I don't know when things are going to change or go back kind of to normal or if they ever will. But
maybe it will change from where we are. Like it's gonna go up now slowly instead of seeing this drastic change in prices.
yeah.
If they're gonna keep everything at this price, but now slowly increase it.
Yeah. And that's basically what the central banks are trying to do. They are raising interest rates
Oh, are they?
to try slow down inflation. So they're trying to get it back to that healthy number, that 2% inflation.
I was shocked just to find out how much daycare was. Like in my mind, I'm thinking $1 a day daycare. Like I said, you know, I wasn't thinking that daycare costs almost $100 per child per day. Like I wasn't thinking that. I went to daycare, but I was only in elementary, and I went to my elementary daycare, so it was just like an after school thing that you just went to, like in the same school, basically. And there was someone there watching, like a teacher or something. And that was my daycare. I did swimming lessons, I did dance lessons, and the fact that, they were telling me that they're considering all these sports and it can cost almost 1,600 just to put your kid in one sport. Like, imagine if they were on the traveling team. Like, you played hockey, right? And you were on the
Yeah.
traveling team. Like,
It was
you need the
expensive back then.
equipment,
Yeah, it was expensive back then. I
gas to
can
travel.
just imagine what it is now. I couldn't tell you how much the equipment, like I played hockey, right? So all the equipment, but then just joining the team by itself and having to pay for, like you paid into the buses to travel out of the city to go play other teams and then go on different tournaments throughout the year, right?
Did you guys because I remember when I used to go to the grocery store before COVID, there used to be kids and they used to pack your bags for you and be like, "Oh, do you want to donate so I can raise money
Yeah.
for my hockey team or basketball team to go play somewhere?" And they're
Yeah,
like, "Oh
we did
yeah,
that.
yeah, sure, I'll give you some change."
Yeah, we did that. We sold chocolate bars and different things.
Yeah, I wonder if they're still doing that because when last time I was in there, I didn't see anyone. So
No,
it might be a COVID thing now.
Yeah, they might have had to stop that because of COVID. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it's honestly changed a lot
Yes.
in the world. Like, the only thing that I can see that changed for the better is some technology
Oh yeah,
has
improved drastically.
improved. A lot of businesses have been forced to go online because of being shut down in store. So I feel like for technology in that sense, it has changed some things for the better.
Yeah.
But in a lot of other ways, it has definitely hurt a lot of businesses, people.
We would love to know what you guys think. Like, do you agree with us when we say life is expensive? Or was life always like this? I need to know. Because I remember you told me when your mom was looking for her house, she spent like how much? 200 something? For
No. They only spent 100,000 on the home.
Oh wow. It's a really nice home. I love the layout of your mom's house.
Yeah.
And you guys have like a 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom.
Yeah, that was back in 1990 or 91. House cost 100. I think it might have been 120,000. Which, and I mean, it's a nice home. It's a bigger home that was on the street. But that's all it costs. Now that same home is probably like $400,000-$500,000.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
so if you guys haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and we appreciate everyone that has subscribed so far. Thank you so much. That means the world to us.
I know this is a deep topic and it's very sensitive and may strike some emotions in a lot of people that may be struggling. But I really do want to hear your guys' opinions on where we are and where you think we're headed, because it is very important. And I do want to have a discussion with you guys. So let us know where your thoughts are on this topic.
Yeah. That is it for Life is Expensive for episode 10. Holy shit, we're on episode 10.
Is this episode 10?
Yes, this is.
Oh, wow.
This is episode 10.
Yeah, you're right.
That's crazy.
It is.
We post every Sunday. Every Sunday will be a podcast. The time, well, we haven't figured that out yet, but
working on it.
Every Sunday we will be right here. Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Glad you made it.
And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Happy Sunday. And we will see you guys in the next podcast.
Or you can click that link over there for our previous videos.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Happy Sunday. Peace. It's more my mentality, and my perception about life. And I think that's why I'm not ready to have kids.